We're surrounded by.
Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Score Science. My name is Luke and this is the Everton Stadium update for the 20th of April 2024. Now apologies for this one coming out a little bit later than usual. As usual, we've had a bit of a hectic weekend, so between sorting out a few things in the background as well as going to the match and everything, it's kind of left me a little bit, strained on time. But thankfully we were able to get this video sorted out and we've got this out. Although it is Monday, hey ho, it's out, isn't it? But yeah, as we go over the East Stand at the moment, so as the main thing that you will notice with this is it's more just a facade than anything. This is like 90 to 95% done on this side of it anyway, especially with the exterior and everything. The only things that are going to go on now is pretty much the remaining black pieces, so the black paneling, the the barrel cladding, and mostly groundwork as well as just like little touch-ups here and there. And then that's all done and dusted. It is ready to go essentially. But yeah, as we'll look over it, it is coming along rather nicely as well. I'm very happy to see it progressing the way it is. And as we move on now, so we're going to be moving on shortly into the Fan Plaza. So there's a couple of things to talk about there. So the Fan Plaza itself, as we move on to it now, is coming along as well rather nicely. So we can actually see where the gates are, that they've got a little bit of the brickwork put back into place. So, well, I say brickwork, stonework put back into place. So how they've actually done this is quite interesting. So when they removed these stones for the gates to actually go in, they had to number them meticulously. So they had to know which ones were going where, and they've had to make it so that they all mesh in perfectly. Now, the one thing I'm gutted I didn't do is actually get photos of where these were before and after, so you could actually see where the bricks match. They've actually had to get a qualified stonemason as well as someone who's qualified to place these to put everything back into place. And on top of that, as we look into the second phase as well of the brickwork and everything going in at the Fan Plaza itself, so some of the bricks that actually go in, when you go onto site, you will have to have a look very carefully at them, because you will actually see they've got like small little bits of blue glass cemented into the bricks themselves, so it's meant to actually give you an almost very faint water effect on there as well. So that's one definitely to look out for when you go into here when it does open up. But yeah, as we move along the South Stand itself right now, there isn't too much extra going on right now, so the main things really to talk about is more of the glass is going into place, a lot of the groundwork is still going on. And like I said, they are prepping the site as well for when the Everton way does actually get put into it. So I am looking forward to seeing that slowly getting put in brick by brick. So that'll be a new piece that we can look at as like a progression point. Apologies if I do cough a little bit. My voice is a little bit sore from the Everton game. So if anyone, well, the time of this recording right now, it's currently 10 to 9 in the evening on Sunday. And my voice is very sore right now. This is more down to the fact that I've been screaming and shouting at the Forest game. You know, all the singing, all the cheering, all the screaming at Anthony Taylor, calling them all the baldy gits under the sun. It was quite a day. I was really happy to actually get back into the stadium. I have actually missed one of the home games, and that one being the Burnley game. And I was gutted to have missed that one, but I was happy to give the ticket to who I gave it to. But yeah, as we look along the roof of the South Stand, so that is progressing rather nicely. Now, there's probably about, I think there could be anywhere between 5 to 7 layers that actually go onto the very roof of this stadium itself. So these are very hard to sort of judge of where we're at. Looking at it right now, I'd probably say it's about the 3rd layer. So you've got your very base layer, you've got your insulation layer, and this piece, which is meant to be like the linking piece to the top layers. But I'll be honest, I haven't got an absolute clue. I'm just basing it on what I've seen with the other side to me. Oh, me, I was about to cough then. But yeah, as we now progress over into the West Stand, that is really coming along rather nicely. So those steps are really looking very nice. They're looking very clean. And when I was actually coming across here as well, so the intro itself, I did that around about the same time as I was doing this piece, so that was done in a single sequence. Likewise with the South Stand. But yeah, I was noticing this when I was just doing the intro itself, and you can also see work is progressing during the weekend as well. So you can actually see one of the diggers in action there, and something pouring as well. Not sure what the hell's going on there, in all honesty. I'm looking at it, and I cannot tell what's going on from this distance. All I can see is you got a crane there pouring sand down to the digger, which is now distributing it. So I'm assuming it's groundworks. But yeah, looking at the steps themselves, they are progressing rather nicely. I remember not a couple of months back, it looked like this had all stagnated at one point. It just looked like they weren't making any progress at all. They'd put a bid in, they'd stopped, and then that was it. But this, week by week, this is coming along rather nicely. Likewise with the barrel cladding. So the barrel cladding itself has reached its finish point right now. So until the west stand and the east stand are both finished roof-wise, they're not going to be able to progress with that any further, which is a bit of a disappointment, but to be honest, you can understand it. People have even said in here, it's all about balancing the roof itself, so they can't really progress until everything's done, and then they can put it on. Because, obviously, gravity is a thing, and if you were to start putting the barrel cladding in, it could run the risk of, I don't know, maybe crushing or putting things off-center or off-kilter. But yeah, as we move down rather nicely and slowly now, I do actually give you a brief view of the media gantry as well. So again, this is one that everyone knows about now. I've talked about this a few times. So that piece itself is responsible for all the media and broadcasting inside the stadium. I'm not sure whether there's an office or something in there as well. So the likes of, you know, Carragher, Neville and all them, when they're doing their little Monday Night Football or anything like that, that might be the office point. But in all honesty, I think it's actually going to be in here, in that northwest corner there. So you can actually see where it's all blocked off. There's a small little office that's in the corner. That, I've got a feeling, is where it's going to be. Now, as we're progressing across the north stand, sorry, I've just hit the mic there. As we're progressing across the north stand here, I'm just looking over it. And again, not too much in terms of an update. Again, it's mostly just behind the scenes stuff inside there right now. So it's mostly just, you know, little bits here and there where they're just working on the inside again. Plumbing, gas, electrics, a lot of the concession areas and everything like that. And from what I've been told, apparently the mezzanine floor of the entirety of the stadium is going to be a constant access point. Now, I want someone to please give me proper updates on what this is, because I've heard many different ideas of this. So apparently it's going to be all access. So that mezzanine is going to be all access, so basically 7 days a week, match day or no match day. It's basically foods, beverages, everything like that. And I've also heard match day, it's going to be all access, so all four corners of the stadium, you can get access through it, called the street and all that, where it's food, beverages and everything. And I've also heard it's segregated, but the massive, almost like Liverpool 1-esque street walking through. You got vendors left, right and centre, sort of thing. So whoever has got information on this, I want you to just inform me of what the heck it is, because I'm very confused by this. I've heard too many things. I've been given pamphlets by Everton themselves where you've got this, what's it called, the Village Street, as well as the Dixie Dean area and all that. But these were hospitality things, and the tickets for them, it was a season ticket-esque thing, and it starts at about £3,000 for one end, and I think it was £2,000 for another. So clarity would be greatly appreciated in that regard, because it is an absolute mind melter trying to figure out what the hell they're doing over there. But yeah, as we progress now, we are doing something rather new here. So we are going to be having a look at the pitch, and I do actually call this the inner bowl, because it does look like a bloody massive bowl right now. So the main thing I'm focusing on here is the actual pitch itself. Now, as the weeks progress, I'm going to get a little bit more nuance with it and try and work with things. Right now, the only reason I'm doing it this sort of fashion is I want to catch the seats for one, and as you can see right here, there is a crane. So I've got to respect distances and everything. I do not want to be getting in the way of anything and being responsible for any delays inside the stadium. But yeah, it's nice to see the seats as well as at a little bit of a closer up angle. It's something new, isn't it? But yeah, ooh. That's actually interesting. Sorry, I'm just going on a quick one. So you can actually see, so on the right as we go across here, so this piece here is actually the east stand, and what you just saw then was, so you saw the west stand of the pitch, east stand here, so you can actually see all of the mesh and everything. So they've actually got a safety net there. So that should probably get the plastic cladding which you saw on the south stand then. But yeah, so looking at the pitch itself, you can't see too much from the top end here. You can actually see a little bit of the plumbing line there. So that black line there was actually plumbing line. And where the north stands, where the seats meet the pitch, you can see that they're slowly working on the trench there. Now, this is going to be a very long process. So like they said, around July, August-ish, you're going to actually see them doing like the pitch and everything. So potentially seeing the pitch getting rolled out. I don't know, seen. But yeah, there's a lot of work to be done inside the actual bowl of it. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this one because I just said it before. Over the course of the coming weeks and everything, we're going to try and, you know, fine-tune what I'm doing here. I've got third-party programs so I can actually implement with the drones, so I can actually do it in a different style. I might do what I did in the old-fashioned way, so if anyone remembers all the way back when we were getting, you know, like the corners and everything like that, where I did a bird's eye, I might do something similar to that. So I might actually go to my legal low limit, and I might do something like that where I get it so the camera's facing basically face down, and we move slowly across and around. I can do that with my camera and everything, so I'm gonna try and implement that over the coming weeks. It will be getting fine-tuned in the course of time. But anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. It is great to finish the weekend with an Everton win, so let's hope we can actually give Liverpool something in the Merseyside derby on Wednesday. Take care, and up the fucking toffees.